Good progress and bad progress. We keep building things non-stop. 1. Good progress is people doing things to advance the quality of life for human beings. Bad progress is the capitalist exploitation machine constantly building new houses, roads, and stores not to add the quality of life but to make money while destroying the planet. They constantly create new products and services to sell that people don't really need. As soon as they discovered they can use the internet to sell stuff, there was a rush of online sellers and a new industry of delivering online purchases. All those delivery trucks driving the streets nowadays did not exist 20 years ago. I saw an Amazon truck delivering packages on a Sunday. That used to be a sacred day of rest. It's not just products. It's services. They're selling internet security, video game services, cloud storage, virtual proxy networks, etc. Progress is good when my life is better because we have nice products at stores, but it's bad when they're constantly building new condominiums, bringing new people in, creating all kinds of meaningless products that don't add to the quality of life in a real way. They're just minor distractions like the fashion industry. We need functional clothes. Everything else is frivolous junk. Is modern progress a term for the new slavery, which is slavery to consumerism and technology? We work to buy gadgets, many of which we don't really need. What we call progress some people call destruction. What's the good of adding new apartment buildings, houses, roads, and stores to a city? When does it end? What's the critical point when there are too many people in an area to enjoy life comfortably? What do they fill garbage dumps with? Is that progress or over-consumerism? Our world is technology, consumption, debt, and ecological destruction. Ronald Wright's book A Short History of Progress is about technocracy. Where does technology go? How far do we go? Do we replace the human body with a machine-like body? Do we leave Earth and populate the universe? Can technology ruin us as the human race? Where do you want technology to go? Right now, people walk around in public looking down at their cell phones. We're disconnected from each other. We're plugged into machines rather than thinking our own thoughts. How far does it go? Do we end up as transhumanists, biochips implanted into us to supposedly make our lives easier but really taking us away from ourselves? That's the big question that artists and philosophers pose. What is human and what destroys our humanity, as in capitalism, technology, consumerism, etc. The 1973 movie Paper Chase was about a bunch of young adults losing themselves to make it in law school. When do you lose your individual humanity to the system? It's not natural to work a 5-day work week on a schedule. Is that progress, going to work every day? Where do you lose the human being to become some kind of automated machine? We used to talk each other and walk out in nature. Now we talk to machines and watch silly videos. We keep building things non-stop too. A Short History of Progress is a non-fiction book by Ronald Wright about societal collapse, published by House of Anansi Press and released in 2004. Wright uses the fallen civilizations of Easter Island, Sumer, Rome, and Maya to see that the depletion of natural resources is the kiss of death for large numbers of people. We have runaway growth in human population, consumption, and technology. This is an unsustainable burden on all natural systems. We think nature is boundless. We think humans will come up with great ideas to conquer the universe. What if we are not limitless? What if there are limits to growth? Nature and natural resources can collapse and lead to scarcity, in which case, some people will die because they won't get enough food, there might be a flood, or there might be some pollution that kills a bunch of people off. The field of archaeology is constantly digging up dead civilizations, the latest being Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. It's a city buried in the ground. What happened there? It proves societies can go bust. Right now, humanity's biggest problem is a refusal to change to adapt to a fallible world with limited resources. We still have people left over from the time of plenty, which was after World War II until 1999. From the year 2000 on, the world became dystopian. It's not terrorism. It's too many people and they want to go to the modern Western countries, but we don't want them because they take away from our once prosperous lives. Nobody wants to stop. We think we can all live in mansions like the Kardashians. We can't sustain ourselves. Human evil like greed, impatience, aggressiveness, and obstinacy will lead us to self-destruction. The 1965 song Eve of Destruction was already talking about this at about the time Rachel Carson wrote Silent Spring in 1962. Back in the day, The Tonight Show used to have intellectual guests. I remember some guy went on Johnny Carson with some graphs and said we were going to be overpopulated by the year 2000. It was a time of plenty, but a few people like some hippies knew there was something wrong with working all the time to buy stuff that doesn't make you necessarily happy. I remember watching the 1968 Burt Lancaster movie The Swimmer. It was a great commentary on society. Burt swam at several different pools to get to his house. The pools that he swam in represented different people in society. He swam at the rich guy's house who built a big roof over his pool out of the newest plastic, and he had all the cool people eat his pool party. Then he swam at the city pool with the poor people. There is always the few rich guys over there using way more than everybody else. We say that's cool because they earned it according to the free enterprise rules of capitalism. Fox News, CNBC, and Bloomberg represent capitalism. CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, and NBC represent liberals who want to take from the rich to help the poor guy. As long as we keep fighting, we will never have a team who says we're going down in flames unless we stop having babies and exploiting the land. We keep building things non-stop. 3. We're destroying planet Earth for the greed of some people who want to make money by exploiting the resources and the people. People figure out a way to make money, then ride to the hilt even if it doesn't add to the progress of humanity. The human race does not act in its best interest as a collective. It acts in a capitalist way. If someone can make money off it, it goes even if it ultimately harms the planet. The word progress seems to infer making money in the capitalist sense as opposed to the noble view of progress, which is supposedly the speech the guy made at the end of the 1936 movie Things to Come. In one sense he was being noble. In another sense, he was warning us that you cannot climb the Tower of Babel. He should not eat the fruit of forbidden knowledge. On the one hand, you got the tagline of Star Trek, which is to boldly go where no one has gone before, but on the other hand, people say stop the madness of constant scientific exploration and capitalist development. It's all there in that dialogue in the 1936 movie Things to Come, starting at about 1 hour 11 minutes until the end. It's the fight between happiness now versus constant ambition and expansion. I see it in the city where I live. It reached its apex around 1990. After that, a bunch of new immigrants came in, there was a housing shortage, a construction boom, and a capitalist boom. It's worse now. It hasn't stopped. They can't build apartment buildings fast enough. For what? It doesn't improve my quality of life. People can't stop. That's the problem. Give someone $1 billion. They want more. We got our billionaires building shelter bunkers. I guess they know something about the future. They want to pay that guy who hijacked the electric car company $1 trillion, but the stockholders say no. I say it's a joke. He's the front face of the company. He hasn't created any hardware of value. He's just image. It's all perception, like the President of the United States. How many people even bothered to watch the several documentaries made about him? If they did, they would see he's a loser. In the first page of his Wikipedia post, they say he declared bankruptcy 6 times. We need a new system where the citizens go online and vote for the important single bills one by one. Take it out of the hands of politicians who are almost all bought and paid for by entities like AIPAC. It's a travesty staring in the face and nobody does anything about it. The most enlightened people tune out. They live their own lives as individuals and try to stay away from human dystopia, but we all have to earn my money, so we have to be a part of society. We keep building things non-stop. 4. What is a human? Do you lay around plugged into a machine, or do you think your own thoughts live an active life? Look at the movie Avatar. It was about the intuitive, spiritual forces of nature versus the capitalist imperialistic machine. We live it everywhere. The conflict is being natural versus being plugged into the capitalist technocratic machine. People want to appear cool to others. The peasant kids in Mexico have cell phones. They're tapped into the world capitalist machine. They think it's cool to have gadgets and hang around the streets rather than being who they are naturally in their neck of the woods. Pollution is caused by capitalist technology. They say the air pollution is so bad in some cities that it's not healthy to go outside. I had great days at our summer cottage at Lake Echo as a kid. They were great times. What more do I want than that? We've created this artificial world that is supposed to be cool. I get spam every day. They want me to gamble. Gambling alone is just one part of the online revolution. How many of us are gamblers now because of the internet? Are you that stupid that you fall for stuff like that? Who watches all those frivolous YouTube channels? Try to do things away from being entertained by stupid stuff online. We have this idea that we're supposed to leave our natural ways and go out to live in capitalist land on a schedule, in a matrix. We have to earn a living but do not have to sell our souls to the artificial world. Enlightenment is who you are away from everything you have ever been brainwashed by, but you still have to earn money in the capitalist world. If you feel alone, God created you. His spirit and DNA is within you. Simply be what He wants you to be, your natural self, in a positive, productive way. You have nature and the artificial world that humans created. The artificial world is nice because it gives us comfort, entertainment and lots of food, but nature is nice too. Enjoy the progress of human society, but not so much that you stay inside all the time plugged into a machine. Don't sell your mind to it either. Think for yourself. If you walk around looking at your cell phone, you're losing a hold of yourself. Electricity is nice. The internet is nice, but when you use these entities and stop being a natural person out in nature, thinking for yourself, you're losing a hold of your humanity. We build things and make money, but it all sucks energy out of the natural world. There has to be a balance. It has to do with overpopulation. Stop having children for a while. Are we going to destroy this beautiful world because we're constantly building new stuff? We keep building things non-stop. 5. The solution is to balance capitalism with an aesthetic enjoyment of life. Capitalist technology is not going away. We have nature to walk around in. Don't reduce your life to sitting indoors plugged into a screen. Project 2030 is an attempt to get people to live in big apartments in big cities so we can keep much of the natural world free from humans. At least that's what they say the reasoning is for their plan to get people to live in big cities. It's true to a certain point. I see a bunch of big apartment buildings going up where I live. What does it mean to be a full human? Are there moral and spiritual requirements? Is it enough to work to earn enough money to buy stuff to enjoy life in a frivolous way, or is there more, like some kind of accountability to self, which would be self-respect and accountability to the higher being that created us, which is an obligation to try to be a stellar positive human being? Are we animals or spiritual beings? We came from nature to civilization, people living in villages then cities. I had the luck to have a summer cottage as a kid, which gave me my love of nature until now. Vincent van Gogh said he wanted to die in the glory of the noonday sun. We're artificial compared to what we used to be. It's not healthy to sit inside looking at a screen all day long. Keep a hold of your natural self and you will make it old age still healthy. You don't have to throw capitalism away, just don't abuse it. I like coffee, cookies, and chips, but I don't buy frivolous stuff. Half of all consumer goods are meaningless, useless junk. I've watched survivalists and preppers on TV and online. They work too hard for the benefits right now. I've tasted a few dehydrated prepper foods. They're not as good as real food. I'm not going to can fruits and vegetables if I can buy them on the cheap at the dollar store. What separates me from the average person is that I go outdoors almost every day for a while. It keeps me grounded to reality. I don't need a bunch of capitalist junk. They got us in this matrix, in our cubicles called apartments. They got us hooked on one useless thing or another, things like smoking dope, watching meaningless TV shows, watching the mainstream news that is biased to capitalism, playing video games, watching sports on TV, gambling, watching frivolous internet videos, talking to strangers online. Engage in a cyber world like Second Life. You're supposed to have a meaningful, noble purpose to dedicate your energy to, not just give up your life to trivial pursuits. They want us captured capitalist prisoners, so we work to pay our bills and engage in some paltry pursuits on the weekend, and Monday morning, we're back in the rat race. We don't get the time to be natural, to find our real pure selves. When we run out of water, all the money in the world won't be able to help us. The information age is mostly BS. The only thing you really need to know is who you are, away from everything you've ever been brainwashed by. Work out from there. Don't just absorb all that crap from school. Individuals can't fight the capitalist machine dedicated to constant economic development. It goes from politicians to bankers. Everybody in the matrix wants economic development. A few people on the outskirts of society say it's too much, slow down, but nobody listens to them because everybody wants more money. Capitalism is the idea that the stores will always be full of stuff. They don't understand that we can run out of things, we can ruin the atmosphere, etc. Ecology and sustainable development are good ideas to try to save the environment. Don't take stuff without having a plan to replace what you take, but that's not the way of capitalism. Everybody takes what they can to make money. Miners take what they can from the ground. Fishermen take what they can from the oceans. We need scientists and law enforcement to force people to stop fishing until they regenerate. We got capitalists everywhere. I saw the tribal people in the Amazon and the capitalist who wanted more land to farm beef, so he gave them trailers to live in, beer and ice cream, and they're happy. Meanwhile, the Amazon forest gets mowed down. Progress one-liners. Greed lies at the heart of our problems. Billionaires will never have enough. Every time history repeats itself, the price goes up. The real cost of living constantly goes up. Who is profiting? The value of the American dollar has gone down by about 96% since the Federal Reserve Bank was created on December 23, 1913. When we're all wage slaves working to survive, it's not progress. The entire tax infrastructure is a crime against the people. We can do better than live in societies where they got us all working to pay taxes. Real progress is realizing that we are part of nature, and nature is part of us. A nation will not survive morally or economically when so few have so much, while so many have so little. Bernie Sanders. An imbalance between rich and poor is the oldest and most fatal ailment of all republics. Plutarch. Nowadays, we are confronted by a huge gap between rich and poor. This is not only morally wrong, but practically a mistake. It leads to the rich living in anxiety and the poor living in frustration, which has the potential to lead to more violence. We have to work to reduce this gap. It's truly unfair that some people should have so much while others go hungry. Dalai Lama. The 1965 song Eve of Destruction by Barry Maguire. The Eastern world, it is explodin'. Violence flarin', bullets loadin'. You're old enough to kill but not for votin'. You don't believe in war, but what's that gun you're totin'? And even the Jordan River has bodies floatin'. But you tell me over and over and over again, my friend. You don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. Don't you understand what I'm trying to say? Can't you feel the fear that I'm feeling today? If the button is pushed, there's no running away. There'll be no one to save with the world in a grave. Take a look around you, boy, it's bound to scare you, boy. But you tell me over and over and over again, my friend. you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. Yeah, my blood's so mad, feels like coagulatin'. I'm sittin' here just contemplatin'. I can't twist the truth, it knows no regulation. Handful of senators don't pass legislation. And marches alone can't bring integration. When human respect is disintegratin'. This whole crazy world is just too frustratin'. And you tell me over and over and over again, my friend. You don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. Think of all the hate there is in Red China. Then take a look around to Selma, Alabama. You may leave here for 4 days in space. But when you return, it's the same old place. The poundin' of the drums. The pride and disgrace. You can bury your dead but don't leave a trace. Hate your next door neighbor but don't forget to say grace. And you tell me over and over and over and over again, my friend. You don't believe we're on the eve of destruction.